Dusted you off. You haven't worked out, though, have you?
No, you guys are incredible. I'm the sloppiest guy on the show today. So.
That's not true.
Not used to that back in Bristol.
Well, we'll see. Meanwhile, look, we're going to get it started. We're going places presented by Toyota. Up first, we're talking about the Toronto Raptors. They tweeted out this photo of Kawhi doing a half smile. I'm not going to go with a full smile. And the caption says, "Welcome to the North." A source says now that telling the San Diego Union Tribune that he believes Kawhi will fall in love with Toronto and end up re-upping next summer. All these sources and allegeds and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to say no, he's not. Meanwhile, what are the chances you believe, Ryan, that he will be there?
This feels a little early to just confirm that
exactly.
He's going to do a max deal and stay at Toronto. Like, can we get him up there first, get him through customs? Can we actually have him play there and figure out if he wants to be there? Like, this whole thing, I feel like with Kawhi is directly related to what happened with Paul George. I mean, Paul George started the whole to the Lakers movement 2 years ago, and then he decides to stay in OKC, and a lot of people didn't think that would happen. So now because Kawhi gets traded with only 1 year left to a place that wasn't on his list of desirable teams, like, we're really going to have this open mind that all of a sudden guys are just going to get traded to places and they go, I'm good. Like, I got to see him play there. I got to get more sources on this. Like, he's another one that wanted to come to the Lakers, and I think because George bounced from LA and stayed in OKC, more people think it's going to happen again, and I still don't think the odds are great for that.
What do they have there that you think that would make him, just right now, just on face value, that would make him want to re-up? What about the coaching? What about the other players on the team? It's hard to go from Greg Popovich to that situation there.
Right. I mean, most people probably still can't name Nick Nurse, the coach for the Raptors.
Thank you. Okay? I couldn't, and that's why you were here.
Yeah, I mean, he just got there, but still. So
they did have the coach of the year last season.
They do, but yeah, he's not there anymore.
It's very easy to see why he's okay with not being with Pop, because he didn't want to be with Pop, right? He left Pop, right? He forced the trade to leave San Antonio. So it's not like the allure of the coach. It's the reason why he would stay or go for a team. Look, there's tens of millions of reasons why he would sign with Toronto. That's the money that could be available if he were to do so. I don't think that's the deciding factor, though. I think at the end of the day, this is about lifestyle. And when you grew up in the LA area, go to San Diego State, go down to Texas to play professionally, and then you go to Toronto to play, you're going to get a rude awakening. Now, Toronto is an international city. It's a fantastic city, but look it's cold.
Okay.
We're going just temperature here?
Is that how we're making this decision?
Listen, let me tell you something. Okay. Have you felt sub-zero weather?
We were there All-Star Weekend, and
yes,
it was horrifying.
It's horrifying. Right. This is a man who has spent much of his life moderate weather, really nice weather. He's going to be in there in December, in January, in February in Toronto. I think he's going to look at these gray skies, feel that cold weather, and go, I've spent my whole life being warm. I need to get to LA.
What about the Drake factor, Ryan?
Well,
it's a very serious factor.
It is. We know if Perk starts with Kawhi here, Drake will have his back, although I would have loved to see how that one played out for real. You know, this again, it's this absurd thing. Like, if the uncle was the one that was calling the shots here, the uncle was leaking all of these reports saying, hey, I want out. I want to hear from the uncle again. I want to hear from the uncle again where he says, yes, we're open to the idea of Toronto. And you're right about the extra money, but you know what the funniest thing, the unintended consequences have been since ownership approved the CBA where you could pay your star players these absurd monies? Now the players are turning it down because they go, you know, it was one thing when it was $15 million a year versus $20 million a year, but now if it's 35 and 38, you're like, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Right. Paul George decided, you know, to stay, but if you look at Durant, like, you thought maybe he would bounce. You know, you thought LeBron would be somebody that would want a max deal sooner, and you thought, okay, we have the benefit here being his home team. Like, guys, these superstars are actually turning down some of the extra guaranteed money. So, like, the idea this story is over for Kawhi and going somewhere else other than Toronto in July of 2018, that's absurd.
But you know, I see this dynamic that you're speaking of more about the players valuing their freedom and power than money, because they know once they surrender that extra year or two, they're giving up a piece of themselves.
It's a total thought process.
They put more value now on saying, I'm controlling my own destiny and I'm going to bet on myself. And I think it's a step up in terms of how you view players.